Welcome. So, I'm gonna talk about Hawaii and get into some other things we've been looking into. It looks like this is probably gonna be sort of some continuation of 374 in terms of the topics I was talking about this region. So, for more information, that video and before, but I found some really interesting stuff just now that I decided I would record on. I've been looking into Hawaii. I heard of the Hawaiian swell recently, which is like a structure around Hawaii that has underplating. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get into that. But what I really wanted to get into, I guess I should just not. I need to get in a mode where I'm like not feeling under pressure, like, but just letting myself freely speak because there's some perhaps like a little much kind of things going on that I'm gonna talk about, but I feel like I'm finding some evidence in this. Okay, so as we are generally looking at this area recently, like in this, like we're not just looking at Hawaii and the seamount chain, we're also looking at this, we're looking at this, and mid-Pacific Mountains, I feel pretty strongly we're genuinely under North America from around Baja, California, at the nose, under, across like here, in the which is in the magnetic anomaly map, but it was a physical underlayer when the Pacific Ocean, Western Pacific, was below North America before it slid out from under it while the Earth expanded. I mean, there's so many details that it's just like I got other videos. Not just talking from like square one. Like, there's some antecedent bases in terms of pre-spoken things that it's like if it's not heard, it's like what in the hell. So we're in that little bubble of a world where there's all this information that's tied to this. So, where to begin? Not on that or that. With that. This. So I was thinking perhaps it's worth just bringing this up at least. At least that. Where this thing's going on in the magnetic anomaly map with this jet stream. So that's kind of what we're looking at, is this general area and its effects on the overall magnetic anomaly map and structure of the Earth, because this is caused by current flows that are flowing in the totality of the Earth, but especially producing these structures of current flows here that are having effects on the region in terms of opening the Pacific, because this is where energy was being focused towards at the time of Earth's expansion, at least when it readily expanded. So that's over here, that's center point, not Fiji. Fiji is here. This like nucleus is here, which if we look at the magnetic anomaly map without my handiwork upon it, I know it's beautiful craftsmanship, Please, please, you don't need to say what we're all thinking. It's the angles. I mean, they're truly the work of a master. Wow. The the way these cut. Look at the perfect boundary. Is there a pixel out of place? Okay, okay. Sorry. Anyway, this thing, which is not like everywhere. So if we look around, like, there's really not like that thing, this thing, in the anywhere. Like there's sort of one up here of a larger size, but there's this one here. Not sure about down there, but not really. It's really not elsewhere, so it's pretty anomalous, and it's got this like figure 8 out this way, and then around this way, with like a flame structure, and then the legs of the snow angel, and then the trident out the top. So I was thinking about this area particularly just now. And there was this string of thoughts that just need, in my head at least. I must record this. I was like, is the word need really true? I don't know. So maybe it's just I want to record it. It seems like a good idea, but maybe not. I guess maybe not. But here's this thing here that's sending a current this way into the dragon's nose, this way into the dragon's nose, which is the mid-Pacific Mountains. And then up here it bends. It goes this way. It also seemingly bends sooner, like at this region, almost like it widened. I was thinking, like perhaps this one was going up further initially, while these were not open. Like the gap here was not yet really forming very substantially until the earth started to expand enough. But then, like these currents bent with it. They, instead of going one way, they went a new way, basically. So I was just thinking about that, like, what's going on, though? Like, why is it pretty much in line with where Hawaii comes from? And then I was thinking, well, is it possible this, which is that path that hits the mid-Pacific Mountains, because, mind you, Shatsky Rise was forming here, so the mid-Pacific Mountains were forming along this boundary, but the final boundary, like the nose is over here, this region of the boundary that should look something like this is kind of missing. It should be, like, there's nothing that looks any different throughout this, really, like this does relative to its surroundings. To be like a wall for this current to compress a mound into, but we still kind of see, like, here even. So I've come to the conclusion that likely Shatsky Rise, which is believed to have like conjugate material over here, some portion of it, Shatsky Rise, formed as the like backstop and since moved out, so it was under here but then it moved out of the way as the current moved it out of the way. And then we have the Hess rise with this nub, this thing, where it's flowing into Bighorn Basin. Like once it passes, this current is flowing up this way with an intense pressure along that channel that it runs into Shatsky Rise and Mid-Pacific Mountains, and they are already formed enough that they're formed, like they're there, they're not just gonna move like a liquid, they're more solid, I guess. So then the current can only like spread them apart. I feel like this region is not as mapped as I imagine we think it is in terms of sampling to determine the actual ages. Like we kind of look at a magnetic anomaly and then another one in these stripes, these lineations like this, and just mark it as like the same age. I don't know how much we've checked, like really checked. Like we label them like M whatever, some number, to just like shorthand this whole time frame where this was forming, this one, but I'm not sure. They're not also like elongating where like Shatsky Rise was over here. And then I was thinking like their formation process was part of the process. So it started to bend, applying pressure against that, widening the space between, like opening space between and adding more channels apart, but probably not like pushing them all the way apart and then widening. Just enough to look like that's generally what happened, is like new layers one after another, I would guess. Where they were once together though, and by making it bend, this current then goes over this way to basically interact with the region over here. And make this basically, like actually make it under the surface. But while it's because of noticeably this like width is basically to this boundary here. So really the Mid-Pacific Mountains are like between this and this, which also, if we look up further, like this, it's kind of where Shatsky Rise is. This not this one, but this further one, where it begins, and then where this bends back is basically this. So it kind of looks like, if we follow it back, like this continues this way through the, like having a boundary of that system. So then goes this way over here, and then the other side goes this way over here out of this region. Whoa. Almost like current flowing this way is bouncing back this way. in the flood to like create this current flow going back up this way that then reaches all the way up underneath here. It's probably a good time to mention. I was like, this is. It looks like a initially, I'm like, it looks like a satellite. That's kind of interesting, I guess. This here. Yeah, looks like a satellite. Then I realized, wait a minute, before I draw more of that. Really, it looks like even there, here, maybe even like that kind of thing. It looks like a chakra. That's what I said. Holy crap, it looks like a chakra. Where can I find that chakra again? Where was it? I got a picture. Maybe we can find the chakra real quick. Is it in here? No. Where would I put it? Shallograms? No. Where is it? It's kind of too cool to just move on from. Maybe I have it here. There it is. Yes. Very much reminded me of this. Where there's like a chakra structure on the ground though, like in the plane of the ground, if you will, rather than standing up like a mountain kind of appearance. It's elongated, which also happens here. With this chakra that goes to here and has a shape back here, back further, chakra. So I was like, okay, if this is a chakra, let's just say for a second, let's suppose it's a chakra. I also know there's more of these, like this thing right here. This, what I've been terming like a bond breaking between Australia, South America, I'm just thinking, and probably also North America. Yeah. Basically, it was here. Possibly it was here in this location. This is what I'm thinking might have happened. It's over here, it formed this thing, this nucleus, this thing. Got over here, but then it kind of migrated up to the point where it was forced to the location. It may not have anything to do with this location before I say that, but it may. It just has that shape to the point where I measured it. It kind of fits in there, even like this structure kind of fits in there almost like it was there. So I was thinking maybe it was there, but not that important really. I mean, maybe. But then moved up here though to over here basically where this bond is, this bond broke between North America and Papua New Guinea. Like so. Like these bonds. Where this bond broke. So that now we're seeing another one of those things down there. I call like a bond breaking location. So we've got this bond breaking location looking like a chakra. This one down here, I'm not sure what to make of it. I was thinking, I don't know. We'll come back to that maybe. But then I was like, is it possible this looks like a chakra? Turned it this way. I'm like, you know, it kind of, I don't know if this is real or what right here. But it kind of has like a stepped, like it goes inward, it goes inward. And I was thinking it would be smaller, like it's a smaller chakra than like a negative, positive. Almost like South America and North America have some sort of energetic connection between them in this way through chakras. That maybe is why, like, the representatives of some shallogram features happening that cause them to separate. So I was kind of thinking about stuff like that, and I mean, that was all great and good, but I didn't know if what I would want to record about. I started thinking, well, okay, this current, like, it clearly bends. It bends. It goes this way, and then it clearly bends this way. And this way, probably. Like, I'm thinking it bends in more than one, like, splits here. It goes multiple ways to kind of create even more space for current to flow. Which then flows more in the way of the larger current, where these take like channeled paths through the rest of it all. But like, I think it went up like maybe here. Like, could it have gone up this way while it was over here though? Like, this width didn't exist yet. Like right here. When this started to flow, it started to create Chatsky Rise and Mid-Pacific Mountains. Possibly in that order, relatively. And then continued to create these things. But it took that initial like cut and widened it over here, when really it started more over here. But over there was all the way over here too. Like, there's a lot going on. It was over here, so I'm thinking like, that's my initial time I had that thought that this did that. Or the current went this way and up through some structure like that then widened out. Let's see. I don't know if that would really, there's kind of, I don't know, maybe if I don't know about timing of that, let's just move on from that. to things that are more like, okay, this I think is worth talking about. So, as essentially, my thought is that somehow the sphere of Hawaii, I know, oh my god, the sphere of Hawaii that formed like a sphere and rolled and deposited its material as the Emperor Hawaiian sea chain, where the inner core had a surface, an inner surface of what is now the modern day exposed surface of the Hawaiian Islands. This formed as a sphere in this current flow, in this pinch point over here, that I think maybe started over there, like maybe it even came out of this structure like sideways, generally like a pressure out this way, like current goes in this way, swirls around and brings material out over here, and starts to make some kind of mass there that then creates a mass, like an actual decay of a atom to produce some hydrogen particle kind of thing, which then created this structure that migrated out from here as it got more and more energetically like able to push out its boundaries in its environment and spread systems apart and create this actual final product kind of structure in this area, or at least influence other currents in a way to do this. But while it was doing that, it was putting a current out this way that I'm thinking just carried Hawaii, the sphere, up north. But I kind of, like, that's as far as I got in that thought. But I was like, well, if we got chakras here between South America and North America in the ocean beds like this, in some sort of subtle but way that I'm gonna like feel like is merited. Also, by the way, between these right here, notice like this is where the mantle puncture hole is, the secondary mantle puncture hole that formed. So it formed between the chakras, probably more so like at the chakras at the time when it was actually happening, which is probably very close to what's going on over here. I don't know if it was exactly on top of. If it were to be happening over here, and then spread out this way, or go up this way and go out this way, like an actual system of mass that moved this way and then this way, but while it moved, it weakened the surface so it could be more easily shaped to what was happening to create an equilibrium. So then the system moved over here, but like through a process. It didn't just immediately get there, like the whole evolution of it was happening, whereas also happening between these chakras at this point, really. Which it was then moving away from this way instead because of the pressures that were happening. I guess because it's causing a current flow up this way. That's then interacting with another current from the mantle puncture hole over here. The primary mantle puncture hole current going across this way interacts over here with this current coming off this way. Maybe just deflecting off of here. Just thinking, like, I'm just kind of spitballing stuff here. Sorry if I say some stupid shit. Like, maybe I'm saying some silly things here and there, but I need to get to what I wanted to talk about. Let's go over here real quick. So essentially, I was thinking this current was bringing the sphere of Hawaii up here. Let's just assume the sphere of Hawaii existed and, like, look into the potentials that may provide. And it specifically went this way, like from that location up through here and made its way over there. So it seems like it went up, like, through some, like, railroad track kind of thing like that. But then I was looking over here, like, well, really, this current, even though it's all the way out here on the Western Pacific, this current was really flowing over here, like, over here. So really, like Shatsky Rise was over here. So what if, I was thinking, what if it made the sphere of Hawaii go under the crust this way? And then run into Shatsky Raz, maybe even to some degree. I don't know. To help push it away. But then Hess Rise is over here. Is attached here. Like there. This is my latest interpretation, I guess, on the matter. I don't know how unequivocal this is going to end up being, let's say, in even my mind, but this is my thought: is Shatsky Rise formed down here, adjacent to Mid-Pacific Mountains, and Hess Rise formed here, so it was at a different angle, really. Like, it was forming more from an angle of current going this way, across here, which was really going through, like, Baja from over here, maybe here. I think that's not the right way, though. It's be going this way. Be going this way. Okay. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, this current though. It's going generally this way, that's the point, and details need to be worked out. So, like, what exactly did this sphere do is kind of what I was thinking. Like, I've looked all over for some sort of evidence of a sphere. I'm like, maybe it went here, maybe it went here, maybe it went here. Like, I don't know. Like, it looks like there's literally was one here. Like, it was right there. And then it started rolling this way. But then if I look over here, like, it really looks like it was actually right there, too. Like, en route to there. And if I go back further, like, it looks like it might have been here, too. So I'm like, did it go up to the North Pole region? Up that way, over here. So that's kind of what I was thinking. It, like, maybe it went over there. But then I was thinking, like, if that's the case, I know, like, some of this material is accreted, but it's not all accreted. So maybe Alaska had a portion that was actually, like, I also know there's a current that went generally through this region into North America of water. So if that's the case, maybe it was pushing into the landmass and creating this gap between it, which would mean that Alaska, generally speaking, let's say, like there's actually, we saw recently different rotations, different directions of rotation. This one is clockwise, I guess, or maybe counterclockwise. This one is the opposite, where Alaska was generally like further that way, maybe. So I was thinking, what if like some boundary of Alaska here was actually like up here, like having a boundary up here somewhere. It's like, what? So if that's the case, then let's just think it through. And it was over there, and that would mean there's this space over here, like beyond here. And I was thinking, well, maybe over here was really, like, mind you, there's these chakras, like 1, 2, 3. So there's kind of some chakra thing going on here, where Russia has like a single chakra point kind of thing going on. And then over here, though, there's this ridge. It's got kind of like a pointy angle to it at the center there, where the North Pole really is. So the North Pole is around here, this terminal. I haven't measured this. Let's measure this. 1034. Like it's probably gonna be less. So I was thinking that Russia was physically, like, before the Earth expanded, this over here, to some balance point, I guess, was physically up here connected to this boundary, and maybe some added material over here afterwards. Like, maybe not all of this was over here, but it got augmented after the process. But let's say it was over there. Let's suppose it was over there. Like, would we see signs that it like moved from over here to over here? Because like in this case, I'm basically thinking the Pacific plate slid out from under North America relatively in that kind of manner, where it's not like the continent really moving, like flying by kind of thing. But over here, it's almost like the opposite. Like it looks like this ridge here stayed here because a new terminal was forming, like deep down enough to influence this outcome, which then kept this like elevated boundary, but then it slid over this way into basically having the chakra of this region pointing over here. This chakra like going sideways into it, like almost like this, basically Alaska, this portion of Alaska really was bounded to Russia over here before they broke apart in this process. And then they reattached at a new energetic chakra point. That was pre-existing, really, which is essentially where current flows happen. Like before, current over here was flowing up this way, I guess. Like, and across this way into Alaska. Across this way. Across here. And then straight into Alaska over this way, though. But then it widened out. Like, turned. It even has, like, a turning compass thing. Like, this angle, maybe. Which the start of the Hawaiian sphere's motion is within the end region of. So it's like the sphere basically went up here. Possibly went past it. Went around. Maybe it went around here and actually, before this opened, it hit here, which then started to open this, where the hit is actually seen on this side now, and all we see is kind of like a roundedness to it, which then triggered this like widening or this motion this way. Which then has it over here. And then deposits Hawaii's sphere out this way. Let's see how roads. Also said it, so it's running into this current. It's going up to Shatsky Rise. As it starts to, like, run into the resistance, I guess, to pass it. Some reason it's bending, basically. Like, there's so much resistance that it's bending off this way. Still trying to think that aspect of it through, almost like it's switching gears. Or railroad tracks are getting switched. Kind of thing. I guess this current was going through this way, let's say. Which was going into Alaska this way. Through here. Which I guess once the Earth expanded more, it switched this path to wrap around. I guess this went in over here and filled the pressure here. That went in over here, filled the pressure here. That went in this way before going this way, where it went over to North America, Western North America, like an arm. That then caused like current flows this way to balance, like in this region, to blow out this kind of arc, I guess. I was just thinking what like relationship that would have with this. Also, that's right, I knew I was going to forget things because I was just looking around. This chakra, if we just follow it upward, it really points at like this debris field, if you will. This going this way and then kind of going over here, and but particularly that. So I was thinking if that material slid this way, like also like literally. I don't know if this is in the topographical map. Let's see. Like bathymetry, if we can even see the bathymetry up there like that. Might not be able to see that region very well. I forget what it's called. North Arc. High Arctic Ridges. Geology. Images. Lomonosov Ridge. Lomonosov Ridge. I think this is related to the high Arctic large igneous provinces. Maybe not. I think so. Well, where's geology? Maybe we can get a better picture. What the? That's alright. Is that an artifact? Is that an artifact? This... like, that looks like something got dragged along it and scraped it. It wasn't like in complete contact. It had pressure points of contact that it really more so focused. But it really scraped the general surface too to make it pretty relatively flat. I'd go it like... right, Goy... I don't know how to say that word. G-U-Y-O-T. Goyet pronounce... G-U, almost.
Geo.
Geo. Geo. Geo. Geo. Geo. Geo. I can't actually hear it when it plays, so it doesn't help. Geo. Geo? Geo. That sounds too much like Geo. Like G-E-O. Okay. Point is, looks like there's possibly some scrapage of the actual terrain as it went over here. The continental shelf riding atop the surface of that, moving over that way to be where it is. And then I guess as it's doing that, this is also kind of moving, but they're applying pressure into one another, so they can't like get past that until they finally kind of squeeze past one another. And then are facing one another because they probably have currents generally flowing in line. From this way through this way. I think that's all the like cool chakra stuff I saw. I just thought that was really like significant though, like, cause then that would mean the sphere basically went up through the boundary here where it got over to there, but that was way, like if we look at like this point, like if this is right here, then the sphere seems to have interacted in this region maybe. Which was really like over here. I mean, that looks like one too. It's just kind of in the right spot. Like it reached here and got into this current, maybe? If this is going this way, I guess it is. I mean, that's generally what it's doing, because it's going across here, going over there, but it's also going to this direction. Making the sphere go over here. This looks almost like it's a broken piece of the sea chain, like these. Like this one looks like a body. And just like the way these are. Like it deposited one back there. That would be cool. It's so straight, it almost looks like it came up this way. Maybe this happened over there. It came through, went this way, and then it went over a long Shatsky Rise boundary, or to basically behind. To over here and went northward. What would that do that? Like if this was like generally forming there, and this was generally forming there, like these were actually, this when it was forming was actually this way, but this whole unit was actually this way over here though, with Shasky Rise, Hess Rise, and then Emperor Trough up this way, and then the path the sphere was able to take, which maybe hit there even. No, maybe. And up here. Maybe he made it over here, went through this region. It's probably not doing that way though. I just don't think it is. It kind of looks like it maybe could have, but at that point, everywhere does. I was just thinking this also looks related. So really it was going, let's say, it went up this way, which seems to point perhaps directly at this one-ish. Thereabouts is pretty close to that one. Maybe. Or it hits some kind of resistance, lodges its imprint, but then goes this way to here, which then is related to this, like it unbuttons almost out to there, energetically maybe. Something to do with the making of this one. And then goes through, like continues through this way. And exits over here. Maybe over this way. Exits over here, but then gets blocked over that way by this process, like pushed back. This arm comes, I don't know when this formed. Wrong one. What is that one called? Archipelagos, Aleutian Islands. Archipelagos? You mean like everything? Well, yeah. Geology, there. Mander. The cooler plate that was trapped when volcanism and subduction jumped south to its current location at 56 MA. Formed 55 to 50. That seems too early to have contributed to a sphere coming out this way and then being pushed back kind of to over here. It would have to be more in like the 80 million. I don't know, that's just Wikipedia. I'm sure it's not too false, but there's probably more data than that. Like a lot of mountain chains will have data beyond the ranges that people put on Wikipedia. I know how ridiculous it sounds. But then I guess that the sphere coming back plays a critical role in making the current that pushed it. So kind of like the Kula plate, like it rode the Kula plate north. The sphere went up with the Kula plate pretty much, and then went back down this way into the stream of the Kula plate that was flowing up this way. So it was cutting across this region and then just extending the interaction probably underneath the surface largely of the pre-existing ocean crust that was the Western Pacific, just underneath it largely, and then extending beyond its boundary to then be the Kula plate, I guess, that then pushed in here, but then once Hawaii rolled back and the overall returning pressure caused the pressure of this Kula plate flow to basically go eastward into North America and just kind of participate in spreading the oceans so that current could flow in this whole space by applying an actual pressure into North America so that then Western Pacific separates from North America, where that one flows into, I thought one went to Bighorn still. This one flows over and goes over here to Yellowstone at least. This one also looks like it goes to Yellowstone in a similar magnetic field type structure, where it's almost like a dual system with a dense mass like Mauna Kea and a magmatic mass like Mauna Loa. So many thoughts, so many thoughts. I didn't really look at any of these papers I've been checking out. Did I? No. I was thinking, did I just stumble on a paper I actually wanted to talk about? But no, it's fine. Maybe I'll link some of these. I feel like I want to talk about these. I'm just kind of tired, honestly. I should probably go. I should probably go. Alright, I'm gonna go. I don't know if that was cohesive. I just really thought there was that chakra aspect. And then the chakra here with the connection over to there. Like, that's so meaning that this was over there and that this was up here potentially. Then this region was just occupied by basically the stuff that the portion of it that pre-existed. As current flow shaped the earth, and this was closed up, so then it's like smoothly closes up kind of thing. I don't know if any expanding earth maps do stuff like that specifically. I know they put Papua New Guinea up there. That looks like Alaska might be way up there with maybe the portion of Siberia wedged against it. I don't know. With Alaska tapped into it even maybe. This has Papua New Guinea. I think over here, like in this region. It is possible that it started off over there, like in the general region that it seems to have evidence for in other ways, but then it reattached over here along this stretch pretty much. Not sure if that would be the case though. Whoa. If this was up here, that really gives some opportunity to realize some things also. This was over that way, and this was attached to here. Then that kind of provides almost like an explanation for this length here, I guess, because it was attached to here. So then there would be more of like a straight face that goes really up here from to all the way over here, like without a gap at all. Like this region was attached over here, or whatever the furthest boundary of this was before it like had accretion and things happen to it. I know there's a lot of complexities in that way. So the point is, if that's the case, then like we've got Papua New Guinea, we've got these islands here, in these locations, but up here I put Borneo, but I'm like, I don't know. I know it's connected to Philippines and these, and then through it to Australia, like this. Generally. That kind of provides a potential what might have been going on over here. It's like Borneo got shoved from all the way up here, all the way down here, creating this arc in the way as it went. It was like the particle going between Australia and Asia. Then stayed bonded to the Philippines, which stayed bonded to Sulawesi, which stayed bonded to Papua New Guinea, which stayed bonded to Australia. So they all kind of formed this final product. I'm just wondering if there is maybe some way to relate that to over here now. Like the boundary, like here. Like, is this all along here? It just opens that doorway. I don't know, yeah. I don't know off the top of my head. I was just thinking maybe this area was over here in a similar way. To kind of abut India. I know a lot of things put it next to Antarctica. I was just thinking, like, where do these chunks come from ultimately? Like, is this source from here? It was here all along? Or is this material that got moved in the process? Because some of it is. Alright, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Pardon me if that was less exciting. I know some of them are fire. I know. Some of them, not so much. Fuck. Sorry. Peace.